Hello everybody, Joel Logan with the Hole in the Ground Terrain. I want to do a short little video to show off a little ruined shrine set I built. You may have saw this earlier in one of my update videos, a couple of videos back, the start of it. I got it finished, want to show it off to you. I'm going to be selling this at GnomeCon coming up in Savannah, Georgia, April, a little bit later this year, but wanted to give you a few tips and tricks on how I built this, maybe give you some ideas to build something similar. Appreciate you watching. Please subscribe if you're not already. Thanks to all my new subscribers. Got a lot of new subscribers out there the past few weeks. And thanks to General Splatton for sending those over. And if you're one of those new subscribers, please keep watching. I hope to give you some more videos that you enjoy watching and give you some tips and tricks and hopefully inspire you to build something similar. Thanks and God bless. Hello everybody, I wanted to zoom in a little bit with my camera and show you some close-ups of this completed model. I put some of my Games Workshop Lord of the Rings miniatures on here for scale. Ruins are, something that usually aren't too complicated or hard for somebody to make. So if you're looking to make some terrain, something you can definitely do. So you might see some of my miniatures here, just want to give you a scale. So usually if I build a set of ruins, I look for something to be the centerpiece of it. And in this case, it was a set of food lines that I had bought at a dollar store a while back. And usually you can find some of these pretty inexpensive for, well, literally $1. And if you see some of those, look around at Dollar General, Dollar Tree, and maybe even some of these weird stores you might see at your traditional malls. Or flea markets might be a good place. But so you saw probably in the last video, I hope, this was a golden color, kind of painted a tacky goldenish color, but I was able to achieve some really great detail with it. So what I did, you see a lot of Hurst Arts pieces here, and what my vision is that this was once a little shrine with a roof. So what I did is I cast a lot of these pieces from one of my Hurst Arts molds. It's one of the Gothic accessory molds, and these make some pretty impressive columns. So I made one really tall one, shorter one. This one only has its base, and then I took some half pieces and made it look like it was sunk in the ground. And then over here, of course, I filmed this one, or I filmed it, I made it to look like the whole thing had fell at once. And notice I got some little ruined roof pieces here and just all kind of miscellaneous pieces around. So one major tip I wanted to share with you, and I started, gosh, maybe 8 years ago doing Hurst Arts, but whenever I pour stuff, there's always going to be stuff that's ruined or not good. And what I got here is basically my junk pile, stuff that don't get cast or you're not happy with. I'll try to keep anything if it has some detail to it, like you can see still like a stone or a roof piece or something doesn't cast out right. So you can see all my miscellaneous, or a block is too short. So what you're seeing here, with the exception of the big columns, this is mainly a lot of my scrap and junk pieces that I save for ruins when I do ruins. See, these here is blocks that didn't turn out. This is a little bowl type thing that didn't turn out tall enough. Roof pieces that are broke. This was a column piece that cast too short. And let me move around and just see different pieces that didn't come out quite right. But I save those and I use them for whenever I do ruins. Now usually what I did, and you saw this earlier, is I built everything out. Now I just built this on top of some blocks. I used some base pieces from a Hurst Arts mold. I used some of the larger ones. So I built me a little base here out of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 by 3, a total of 15 pieces of those. Built me a little platform to set the statue on. Then I took some pieces here, 4 pieces on top, and I set it on. And you can see this in the last video. Now one trick I do a lot that saves a lot of money that local friend of mine got me to do. And I buy a lot of Woodland Scenics ballast, and I own a good bit. But if you're like me, I've also got a cat in the house. And every so often, if I run out, I use kitty litter for ballast. So all of this that you see, these little rubble stones, that's kitty litter. I use that a lot on the bases of miniatures. Works out well, saves a lot of money. So using glue, I think most folks call it PVA glue. I specifically use Aleene's Tacky Glue, which is a local brand, but all around before it was based, I used kitty litter on it. And then of course, when everything was glued in place that you see here, minus the flocking and the grass and everything, spray painted it black. And then I dry brushed 2 levels of paint. I always do a dark gray and then a very light, almost white gray. And gave me some really good results. I was really, really happy here with what I got with the statues and the columns. So really only a couple of colors of paint you need to use. Then I went back. What I usually do, and there's different ways of doing it. Some people will glue their flocking on. What I like to do is use paint. So I painted all of this green, and I took several different kinds of flocking here. I got my Woodland Scenics flocking out here so you can see. Let me zoom in a little bit there. And bought this some good years back, but what I did, I took a Ziploc bag and I mixed a lot of the dark green and the light green together, and it gave me a nice color here to use with the model. So I mixed that up in a little bag, and so I painted everything green, and I purposely glopped on a little extra paint so it would be very wet, and then I slowly sprinkle it on all over. Now I've seen people get as fancy, I think Girl Painting on her channel, Cassandra, I've seen her use some type of electrostatic device put this stuff on, but I just sprinkle it on a little bit at a time, go very slowly. And then using another technique that one of my friends taught me to give it a windswept effect, as it starts to dry a little bit, I gently take my breath and blow over it very slowly, and it distributes things around. It makes it look like natural grass. So after I did that, I went back, I used just a little bit of lichen here, and I tried to, if you can see it, kind of come up with a root effect with some of my lichen. And then using some grass, I'll see if I can find my grass to show you what it looks like unapplied. Let me grab my grass over here, people. I like to occasionally use this. I don't know if you would call it river or marsh grass. This is a Woodland Scenics product here. And this stuff will last you for years. I think I've had this for probably 8 or 9 years. But this is what it looks like. I saw some at Hobby Lobby just yesterday. Hobby Lobby Michaels typically will carry. Comes like this. Of course, you got to cut it to be to scale. Nothing's going to be that tall. And mine is probably even a little tall here. But a lot of the grass here, I'm going to take this off the tripod so I can show you a little bit better. But you can see the different grass I've put on throughout the model. And what I did, using some of the flowers I'd bought for some of the Hobbit holes, halfling homes that I did, I went back and sprinkled on in some of the flower mesh just to give it a little bit of color. You know, the green's nice, but you'd be amazed at just how some of the purple and the yellow looks when you put it on some of your vegetation. It gives it some real pretty color. Here's one that I use some of the purple flowers on. It just really gives it that extra touch. So I'm hoping, you know, a few of the things I've showed you here will give you a few little tips and tricks here on making some ruins. So lesson 1, if you do Hurst Arts or if you make any type of terrain, keep things that are damaged or scraps. That's the #1 tip. And kitty litter is a great and cheap alternative to spending ballast, a lot of money on ballast. Some of those little packs of ballast are $6, $7 or more. I know you can probably buy it in bulk, but the kitty litter is such random. It looks just like rubble, And you see I used it all around, so you'll use that a lot on ruins. So keep your scrap pieces, find alternatives for your basing. Sometimes, depending on what color green you want, mixing it up. I like to sprinkle it on the wet paint, and I don't have to fool with glue. Stays on just like you glued it. So guys, I hope you enjoy this little video. And I hope if you live in the southeast United States, Georgia, northern Florida, like to see you at that convention coming up. This piece will be for sale there. Leave me some comments if you like what you see, or if you got any questions about what I did, let me know. And I hope to do an update video a little later in the week to show you some other stuff I'm working on. My large tower is progressing very nicely, slowly but nicely. And got a whole lot more Dragonshire buildings made that I'd like to show you. I think I've got maybe 5 really neat homes completed. But anyway, thanks for looking. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe so you can see when my new videos come out. And please leave me some comments below if you got any questions or anything. Just let me know. But thanks for looking, and God bless. And I appreciate all my new subscribers, and hope you'll stay with me.